Nadia's fingers slipped in the blood as she pressed harder against the wound, her white uniform soaked through. The man's eyes found hers, dark, fierce, unflinching, even as his life poured out onto the rain-slicked pavement. She should have kept walking. She should have called 119, but she didn't. And that one choice shattered every wall she'd built, every plan she'd made, and every lie she'd been told about who she could trust. If you want to see how obsession rewrites destiny, subscribe right now. You won't believe what happens when love and danger collide. Also, tell us where you're watching from. Her name was Nadia Grant, and this was the night she saved the devil. If you're just tuning in, please like, subscribe, share, and click on the notification button for more gripping stories. Your support means everything. Now, let's dive in. Her shift ended at 11:52 p.m. Nadia was exhausted. Her feet throbbed. Her shoulders ached. All she wanted was to get home, peel off her scrubs, and fall into bed. The Seoul Metropolitan Hospital parking lot was nearly empty. She pulled her jacket tighter against the cold September wind and started the 20-minute walk to her one-bedroom apartment in Itaewon. Seoul at night was never quiet. The city pulsed with neon lights, soju-fueled laughter from Pojangmaka tents, and the distant hum of traffic on the expressway. But the alley she chose, a shortcut through the old Hanam-dong district, was darker than usual. A stupid choice. She knew it. That was when she heard it. A low, wet gasp. She stopped. Hello? Silence. Then another sound, labored breathing, like someone drowning on dry land. Her nurse instincts kicked in before common sense could stop her. She turned toward the sound, and that was when she saw him. A man slumped against the brick wall. One hand pressed against his side. Blood pooled beneath him, dark and viscous under the flickering streetlight. Tattoos covered his bare torso, intricate, brutal, beautiful. Oh my God. She ran over and dropped to her knees. Her hands moved on autopilot, checking his pulse, his airway, the wound. Gunshot. Lower left abdomen. Possibly nicked the femoral artery. Stay with me, she whispered, pulling off her jacket and pressing it hard against the wound. You need to stay awake. His eyes fluttered open. And she froze. They were the most intense eyes she had ever seen. Dark. Sharp. Unwavering. Even bleeding out, even half dead, they didn't soften. They locked onto her face like she was the only thing keeping him tethered to the world. Who did this to you? She asked, her voice trembling. He didn't answer. He just kept staring, his jaw clenched against the pain. She reached for her phone. I'm calling an ambulance. His hand shot out and clamped around her wrist. His grip was terrifying. No. He rasped it in Korean first, then switched to English, his accent thick. No police. You're bleeding out. No. Police. His voice was cold. Final. A command, not a request. She should have run. Every instinct screamed at her to leave, to get help, to save herself. But she didn't. Instead, she dug into her bag, pulled out the small emergency kit she always carried, and got to work. She cleaned the wound as best she could with antiseptic wipes, applied pressure with gauze, and used medical tape to close the worst of it. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't even safe. But it was enough to keep him alive until he could get real help. The entire time, he watched her. Not with gratitude. Not with relief. With something else. Something that made her skin crawl and her pulse race in equal measure. When she was done, she stood, hands trembling, covered in his blood. You need a hospital, she said firmly. I did what I could, but if that wound gets infected, I'll survive. He said it like a fact. Like death wasn't even an option for someone like him. She took a step back, suddenly aware of how alone they were. Then, good luck. She turned to leave. What's your name? She stopped. Her heart pounded. Don't tell him. Don't. Nadia, she whispered. She didn't know why she said it. He smiled, barely, just the corner of his mouth lifting. It should have been comforting. It wasn't. Nadia, he repeated, as if tasting it, claiming it. Then, with the last of his strength, he spoke again. His voice was rough, but the words were crystal clear. You will be mine. She ran. She didn't look back. What Nadia didn't know, what she couldn't have known, was that the man she saved wasn't just anyone. His name was Han Ji-won, and he was the most dangerous man in Seoul. Ji-won's men found him an hour later, still in the alley, still conscious. They rushed him to a private clinic in Cheongdam-dong, one that didn't ask questions, didn't keep records, and certainly didn't call the police. The doctor worked quickly, stitching him up and pumping him full of antibiotics and painkillers. You're lucky, the doctor muttered in Korean. Another hour and you'd be dead. Ji-won didn't respond. His mind wasn't on the pain. It wasn't on the ambush or the rival gang that had tried to kill him. It was on her. The woman with the gentle hands and terrified eyes. The black woman who had saved him when she should have left him to die. Nadia. The next morning, Ji-won's second-in-command, Min-jae, stood at the foot of his hospital bed with his arms crossed. We have a problem, Min-jae said in Korean. Ji-won raised an eyebrow. Only one? The woman. The one who helped you. She saw your face. She knows you were involved in the ambush. Protocol says we eliminate her before she talks. Ji-won's expression didn't change, but the air in the room grew colder. No. Min-jae blinked. Boss. Find her, Ji-won said quietly, his voice like steel wrapped in silk. Find out everything. Where she lives. Where she works. Who she loves. What she fears. And then? Ji-won's lips curved into a smile that didn't reach his eyes. Then I'm going to make her mine. 3 days later, Nadia was assigned to the VIP wing. She hated the VIP wing. The entitled chaebols who snapped their fingers at nurses like they were servants. The plastic surgery patients who complained about swelling. The rich men who thought a smile meant an invitation. But it paid overtime, and she needed the money. Room 808 was her last check of the night. The chart said the patient had been admitted 4 minor complications from a previous injury. No name, just Mr. Kong. Cash payment. Private security outside the door. Red flags everywhere. Nadia knocked twice and pushed the door open. The room was dark except for the glow of the heart monitor. A figure sat up in bed, silhouetted against the Seoul skyline beyond the window. Good evening, Mr. Kong. I'm Nurse Grant. I'm here to check your vitals and... The words died in her throat. He turned his head, and the light from the hallway caught his face. Those eyes. Dark. Intense. Unblinking. No. Hello, Nadia. Her clipboard clattered to the floor. It was him. The man from the alley. Alive. Awake. And smiling at her like he'd been waiting for this exact moment. You, she stumbled backward, her hand reaching for the door. You shouldn't be here. You need to leave. I need to close the door. It wasn't a request. Her body obeyed before her brain could stop it. The door clicked shut behind her. How did you find me? Her voice shook. I told you I'd survive. He gestured to the bandage wrapped around his torso, visible beneath his open hospital gown. Thanks to you. That's not what I asked. He tilted his head, studying her like she was something rare and precious. You told me your name. That was all I needed. Panic clawed at her chest. What do you want? To thank you. You can thank me by forgetting we ever met. That, he said softly, is impossible. He stood, slowly, carefully, but without the weakness of a man who'd nearly died 3 days ago. He moved toward her, and she pressed herself against the door. I meant what I said in that alley, Nadia. She could smell him now, antiseptic and something darker, more dangerous. You will be mine. Her hand found the door handle behind her back. I saved your life, she whispered. That doesn't mean I belong to you. His smile widened. Not yet. Nadia didn't sleep for 2 days after seeing him in room 808. Every shadow looked like him. Every footstep in the hospital corridor made her jump. She switched shifts, avoided the VIP wing entirely, and checked over her shoulder every time she left the building. He discharged himself the next morning. Against medical advice. No follow-up appointment scheduled. Gone. She should have felt relieved. She didn't. On Friday, she logged into her student loan account during her lunch break, a monthly ritual of watching the balance barely budge despite her payments. $50,000. A weight she'd been carrying since nursing school, a number that haunted her budget spreadsheets and kept her working double shifts. The page loaded. Her sandwich fell from her hand. Current balance, $0. Status, paid in full. Payment source, anonymous donor. Payment date, September 18th. 3 days ago. The same day he'd appeared in room 808. No. She refreshed the page. The number didn't change. No, no, no. Her hands shook as she grabbed her phone and called the loan servicer. The hold music felt like it lasted hours. Thank you for calling. How can I help you today? My account, there's been a mistake. Someone paid off my entire loan, but I didn't authorize. Let me pull up your account, Miss Grant. Keyboard clicks. Ah, yes. I see a payment of $50,000 was processed on September 18th by wire transfer. The payment cleared successfully. You're debt-free. Congratulations. But I didn't. Who made the payment? The donor requested anonymity. That's all the information I have. You can't just accept $50,000 from a stranger. Actually, ma'am, we can. And we did. Is there anything else I can help you with today? Nadia hung up. Her heart hammered against her ribs. $50,000. Her freedom. Her independence. The debt that had controlled her life for 5 years, erased with a single transaction. By him. She knew it was him. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. You saved my life. I save yours. We're even now. Her fingers flew across the screen. I don't want your money. Take it back. 3 dots appeared. Then. Too late. It's done. Besides, you can't be mine if you're chained to debt. I'm not yours. Not yet, Nadia. Not yet. She blocked the number with trembling hands. But they both knew it wouldn't matter. He'd already found her once. He could find her again. Min Jae stood in Ji-won's penthouse office overlooking the Han River, a manila folder in his hands. The report you requested, boss. Ji-won didn't look up from the whiskey he was pouring. Tell me. Nadia Grant. 27. American citizen, been in Seoul for 3 years. Works at Seoul Metropolitan Hospital, Emergency Department. Lives alone in a 1-bedroom in Itaewon. Rent paid on time. No criminal record. No debt. Min Jae paused. Not anymore. Ji-won's lips curved slightly. Go on. She keeps to herself mostly. Work, home, occasional coffee with coworkers. Grocery shopping on Sundays. Gym twice a week. She's clean, boss. Almost boring. Almost? Min Jae flipped a page. There's an ex-boyfriend. Marcus Chin. African-American, works in finance. They dated for 2 years before he transferred to Hong Kong last spring. Broke her heart, from what we can tell. Past tense? Was past tense. Min Jae's expression darkened. He flew into Incheon 3 days ago. He's been calling her. A lot. Ji-won's fingers tightened around his glass. And? She's been ignoring him. Until yesterday. They met at a cafe in Gangnam. Conversation lasted 40 minutes. She left looking upset. What did he say to her? Our man couldn't get close enough without being noticed. But based on body language, Min Jae hesitated. He's trying to win her back. The glass in Ji-won's hand cracked. Whiskey spilled over his fingers, mixing with a thin line of blood from his palm. Boss. What else? There's a woman. Keisha Grant. She's Nadia's cousin, works as a translator for the Jang Syndicate in Busan. She flew into Seoul yesterday, same flight as Marcus. Ji-won's eyes narrowed. Coincidence? We're looking into it. Min Jae closed the folder. Do you want us to intervene? Make the X disappear? It would be clean. No. Boss, he's... I said no. Ji-won set down the broken glass, blood dripping onto his desk. But I want eyes on both of them. 24 hours. Everything they do, everyone they meet, every word they say. If he touches her, his voice went cold. Then you have permission. Min Jae bowed. Understood. As he turned to leave, Ji-won spoke again. And Min Jae? Make sure she stays safe. I don't care if it's a drunk businessman or a pickpocket. Nothing touches her. She doesn't know we're protecting her. She doesn't need to know. Ji-won's smile was dangerous. Not yet. Nadia found the club on her 3rd try. The first 2 bouncers had looked at her like she was crazy when she asked for Han Ji-won. The 3rd one made a phone call, listened, then stepped aside without a word. The bass thundered through her chest as she descended the stairs into Eclipse. Red lights. Black leather. Beautiful people moving like shadows through smoke. This was his world, dark, expensive, untouchable. A man in a suit appeared at her elbow. This way. He led her past the VIP section, past the private booths, to a door marked private in English and Korean. He knocked twice and opened it. Ji-won sat behind a desk, reviewing what looked like financial reports. He didn't look up. You can go, Sung-ho. The door closed behind her. Nadia didn't wait. Stop following me. Now he looked up. That same infuriating smile. Hello to you too, Nadia. I know you have people watching me. I know you paid my debt. I know, her voice cracked. I know you won't leave me alone. So I'm here to tell you face to face, stop. He stood, moving around the desk with that predatory grace. No. I saved your life. That doesn't give you the right to. You're right. She blinked. What? It doesn't give me the right. He stopped inches from her, close enough that she could smell his cologne, cedar and smoke. It gives me the obligation. That's insane. Is it? His eyes held hers. In my world, Nadia, when someone saves your life, you owe them everything. Your loyalty. Your protection. Your devotion. He reached out slowly, giving her time to move away. She didn't. His fingers brushed her cheek. You saved my life. So now my life is yours. I don't want it. Too late. It's already given. His thumb traced her jawline. And if my life is yours, then yours is mine. That's how this works. She slapped his hand away. You don't own me. Not yet. He leaned closer, his voice dropping to a whisper. But I will. Because unlike that weak excuse of a man who left you, unlike everyone else who's taken you for granted, I see exactly what you are. And what's that? Mine. The word hung between them like a promise and a threat. I came here to end this, she said, her voice shaking. I know. His smile widened. But you won't. Why not? Because part of you doesn't want to. She hated that he was right. Marcus looked exactly the same. Same clean-cut hair. Same expensive watch. Same smile that used to make her feel like the only woman in the world, before she learned he gave that smile to everyone. You look amazing, Naughty. She hated that nickname now. What do you want, Marcus? They sat in a cafe in Samcheong-dong, tourists and couples flowing around them like water around stones. Marcus reached across the table for her hand. She pulled it back. I made a mistake, he said. Leaving you. Taking the Hong Kong job. I thought I needed space to figure out my career, but, he leaned forward, earnest. I figured out I need you. You had me. You left. I know. And I'm sorry. But I'm back now. I got transferred to Seoul permanently. We could start over. Get that apartment we talked about in Hanam-dong. Plan the wedding we. There is no wedding, Marcus. There hasn't been for over a year. But there could be. His voice took on that pleading tone she used to find endearing. Now it just sounded weak. I've changed, Naughty. I promise. Just give me another chance. She stared at him, this man she'd loved, this man she'd built a future around, and felt nothing but tired. I need to go. Nadia, wait. She left him sitting there, his promises dissolving in cold coffee. She made it half a block before Ji-won fell into step beside her. Where did you? She spun around. Were you watching me? Always. He said it without shame, hands in his pockets, perfectly casual. That was him? The ex? None of your business. He's weak. She stopped walking. Excuse me? Weak, Ji-won repeated, turning to face her. He left you because he couldn't handle your strength. Now he's back because he's lonely and scared and thinks you'll be grateful enough to take him back. His eyes burned into hers. Why would you settle for a man who made you small? You don't know anything about. I know you haven't smiled once since he came back. I know you used to walk with your head up, and now you look at the ground. I know, he stepped closer, that you deserve someone who isn't afraid of your fire. Someone like you? Yes. The honesty in his voice stole her breath. You're insane. Maybe. His smile was sharp. But at least I'm not a coward. Across the street, Marcus watched them through the cafe window, his face twisted with something ugly. Ji-won noticed. His smile widened. Good, he said quietly. Let him see. Ji-won called her at 2 a.m. Nadia should have ignored it. Should have blocked the new number he was using. Instead, she answered on the third ring. What? Meet me at Han River Park. Banpo Bridge. Now. It's 2 in the morning. I know what time it is, Nadia. Come alone. He hung up. She should have gone back to sleep. Should have dismissed it as another one of his controlling games. But something in his voice, something cold and certain, made her pull on jeans and a jacket. She found him standing by the railing, the bridge lights reflecting off the dark water. He held a manila envelope. This better be important, she said, approaching. He turned, and for the first time since she'd met him, Ji-won looked almost gentle. Almost sorry. You need to see this. See what? He held out the envelope. She didn't take it. Just tell me. I can't. You won't believe me unless you see it yourself. Something in his tone made her stomach drop. She snatched the envelope and opened it. Photographs spilled into her hands. Marcus and Keisha. At a restaurant in Hongdae. Marcus's hand on Keisha's thigh. Marcus and Keisha. Entering a hotel in Gangnam. February 14th, Valentine's Day. The day Marcus had told Nadia he was too busy with work to celebrate. Marcus and Keisha. Kissing in an airport terminal. March 3rd. The week before Marcus left for Hong Kong. Text message screenshots. Keisha's number. I miss you already. She doesn't suspect anything. Hotel receipts. 8 months worth. Different hotels. Same 2 names. The envelope slipped from her hands. Photographs scattered across the pavement like evidence of a crime. No. I'm sorry. Ji-won's voice was soft. You faked these. This is some kind of trick too. I didn't. He pulled out his phone, showed her the original digital files, metadata intact. Dates. Locations. Everything verified. My people have been following Marcus since he returned. They found her with him 3 days ago. Your cousin, Keisha. They've been together the entire time. Nadia's knees buckled. Ji-won caught her before she hit the ground. Before he left, she whispered. He was with her before he left me. Yes. And Keisha knew. She came to my apartment. Listened to me cry. Told me I was better off without him. And the whole time. The sob that tore from her throat was animal. Ji-won held her while she broke. Where are they now? She finally asked, her voice dead. The Shilla Hotel. Room 1847. She pulled away from him, wiping her face. Take me there. Nadia. Take me there. Now. Jiwon's driver dropped them outside the Shilla at 3:47 a.m. Nadia didn't wait for him. She walked through the lobby like she owned it, photographs clutched in her fist. The night clerk started to speak. One look at her face and he went silent. Jiwon followed at a distance, his presence a dark shadow. 18th floor. Room 1847. She didn't knock. The door wasn't fully closed, a privacy tag hung from the handle, but the latch hadn't caught. Sloppy. Arrogant. She pushed it open. The room was dim, lit only by the city glow through floor-to-ceiling windows. Clothes made a trail from the door to the bed. Marcus's shirt. Keisha's dress, red, the one Nadia had complimented last month. They were tangled in white sheets, asleep, Keisha's head on Marcus's chest. Something inside Nadia went cold and clear. She turned on every light. They jerked awake, squinting. Marcus saw her first. His face went white. Nadia, oh God. Don't. Her voice could have cut glass. Keisha sat up, clutching the sheet to her chest. Nadia, I can explain. 8 months. Nadia threw the photographs onto the bed. They scattered across the sheets like accusations. You've been fucking my boyfriend for 8 months. Ex-boyfriend, Keisha said, recovering fast. Too fast. You broke up over a year ago. He came back to win me back 3 days ago. Was that before or after you fucked him in the same hotel? Marcus scrambled out of bed, pulling on his pants. Nadia, listen, it's not, we didn't mean for this to happen. Shut up. She turned to Keisha. You're my cousin. You sat in my apartment and watched me cry over him. You told me I deserved better. Keisha's jaw tightened. You do deserve better. But so do I. You had him for 2 years, Nadia. He chose me. He didn't choose you. He used you because you were convenient and desperate enough to accept his scraps. Keisha lunged. Nadia was faster. Her fist connected with Keisha's jaw, 3 years of hospital self-defense training behind it. Keisha went down hard. Marcus grabbed Nadia's arm. Stop. She wrenched free and faced him. You're a coward. You couldn't handle a woman who didn't need you, so you found one who worshipped your mediocrity. That's not. We're done. Both of you. You deserve each other. She walked out. Ji-won was waiting in the hallway, leaning against the wall. Feel better? No. Her hand throbbed. But I will. His smile was proud. Good girl. Her mother called at noon the next day. Nadia was lying in bed, staring at the ceiling, her knuckles wrapped in ice. She almost didn't answer. Nadia Simone Grant, what is this I'm hearing about you attacking Keisha? No, hello. No, are you okay? Straight to the accusation. Hi, Mom. Don't hi Mom me. Keisha's mother called me in tears. Said you assaulted her daughter at a hotel. Said you've been acting crazy ever since some man. Did she tell you why I hit her? Silence. Then, she said there was a misunderstanding about some boy. Not a boy. Marcus. My ex-boyfriend. The one who destroyed me when he left. Nadia sat up, her voice steady. Keisha has been sleeping with him for 8 months. Since before he left Seoul. She knew what he did to me and she did it anyway. Well, I'm sure she didn't mean relationships are complicated, Nadia. Stop. Excuse me? Stop making excuses for her. Nadia's voice hardened. She betrayed me. Deliberately. Repeatedly. 4 months. And now her mother is calling you, spinning lies, trying to make me the villain. She's family. So am I. The words hung in the air like a challenge. Her mother sighed. You're being dramatic. This is what happens when you live so far from home, surrounded by, you need to come back to the States. Find a nice church boy. Settle down properly instead of. Instead of what, Mom? Instead of building a life I'm proud of? Instead of having standards? Instead of punching family members in hotel rooms? She earned that punch. Nadia's laugh was bitter. You want me to forgive her? Pretend it didn't happen? Smile at Christmas dinner while she sits across from me, knowing what she did? That's what family does, Nadia. We forgive. No. What family does is have your back. Protect you. Not sleep with your ex and then cry to their parents when they get caught. So you're just going to cut her off? Cut us all off? If that's what it takes to respect myself? Yes. Her mother's voice went cold. You've changed, Nadia. That city has made you hard. Good, Nadia said. I needed to be. She hung up. Her phone buzzed immediately. A text from G1. Proud of you. She stared at it for a long moment. Then she smiled. Nadia showed up at G1's penthouse unannounced. The security guard tried to stop her. One phone call later, he stepped aside. She found G1 on the balcony, overlooking the Han River. The city sprawled below them like a kingdom of light. He didn't turn around. I was wondering when you'd come. We need to talk. I'm listening. She joined him at the railing, the night wind pulling at her hair. I'm not going to pretend I understand you. Your world. The things you've done. I'm not asking you to. But I'm also not going to pretend this, she gestured between them, isn't something. Because it is. Now he turned, his dark eyes finding hers. You saved my life, she continued. You exposed the people who betrayed me. You've protected me, even when I didn't ask for it. But here's the thing, G1, I won't be owned. I never said. Yes, you did. Multiple times. You will be mine. My life is yours, yours is mine. All of it. She stepped closer. If you want me, it won't be as a possession. It won't be as something you claimed because you decided to. It will be because I choose you. Every single day. As an equal. His jaw tightened. You don't know what you're asking. I'm asking you to let me in. Really in. No surveillance without telling me. No decisions about my life without asking me. No controlling, no caging, no treating me like I'm something fragile that needs protecting from the world. You do need protecting. My world is dangerous. Then teach me how to survive in it. Be my partner, not my warden. Her voice softened. I know what I'm asking for is hard. I know control is how you've survived. But I need you to try. The silence stretched between them, filled with the sounds of the city below. Then, slowly, G1 did something she'd never seen him do. He dropped to one knee. What are you? In my world, he said quietly, when someone gives you terms, you accept them with respect. His eyes held hers, vulnerable for the first time. I accept your terms, Nadia Grant. Partnership. Equality. Choice. She felt tears burn her eyes. Stand up. He did. She closed the distance between them and kissed him, not the kiss of someone surrendering, but of someone choosing. When they pulled apart, he smiled. Really smiled. So, he said. What now? Now? She took his hand. Now you take me to dinner. Like a normal person. And you let me decide if I want dessert. His laugh was low and genuine. As you wish. They stood together on the balcony, two people who'd saved each other in a rain-soaked alley, now saving each other again. This time, by choice.